Hey folks, this video deals a lot with how I learned to play bluegrass, but doesn't specifically teach a lot of bluegrass guitar. Don't click away though. If you're looking for specific concepts and scales and licks and songs and all of that, please check out the rest of my channel because you can find all of those things there. However, if you'd like to see how I organized my thoughts and my notes when I was starting out learning how to play bluegrass guitar, please stick around. But before we get going, a quick shout out to my Skype students over here. I have students all over the world now, and I wanted to show you real quick because Sandy in Australia was nice enough to send me this postcard. I wanted to show it off to you guys. I have students in Washington, Oregon, right here in North Carolina. I have one in Texas. I have, did I say Canada already? I have some really close friends that live in Germany. Shout out to Cliff. In the past, I've taught people that are in England, Ireland. I've also taught students in Norway. But anyway, the point is, if you want to sign up for some bluegrass guitar lessons, please go to my website, lessonswithmarcel.com, and you can sign up for that and you can make that happen. Anyway, let's get back to the sort of video at hand, yeah? So before we get going, I do think there's a couple things that are important for you to know. Number one, I haven't been playing bluegrass since birth, and I think a lot of people think that. That's not true at all. I really wasn't exposed to that much bluegrass till I was in my teens. So for that reason, I always feel like I'm still trying to catch up, and that's really what this video is. It's about how I started catching up. So before I played bluegrass, I had already played guitar with a high school band, like a high school rock band. Let's play some of that now, yeah? And I also played a bunch of different instruments in the pit for musicals. But I wasn't really a soloist. There was no way I can improvise, and I really wasn't in demand for that kind of playing. It was around that time that I found a place to rent that had a bunch of very interesting, wonderful people living there. In a really roundabout way, they helped me find bluegrass and start playing it more and more often. So I set out to figuring out all of this on my own. So to organize everything I could find and everything I could figure out, I created my Bluegrass Bible. Hold on, let me get the Bible. All right, this is what she looks like. It's been a long time since I wrote that down. This says Bluegrass Bible. I actually made this on a piece of notebook paper. Over here I have a bunch of unsorted papers. You can see some stuff that have blues, box shapes, and a bunch of licks. Some of these I used to do at my old job, which I'm sure they love hearing about now. These are some notes that were actually given to me when I was in middle school, and I've held on to them this whole time. First section is for all of the solos that I have. Here's a Tony Rice solo from a bluegrass band album. Here's the words to Orphan Annie. Here's some Banjo Ben stuff. Did a lot of Banjo Ben back in the day. Now me and Banjo Ben email each other. Hey, we're friends. Here's an arrangement I wrote for Arkansas Traveler. Right, I'm not going to go through each of these individually. This is my first ever version of Church Street Blues that I ever did, written by hand. But yeah, I love lots of these. Oh, this is cute. You can see the tab goes a little bit longer, so I created this fold out. All right, my next big section is my scale section. So, sounds like a jet engine outside. Now, these diagrams you'll see a lot of. Basically, I would pick a key. For instance, this is G. And I would do my G major pentatonic, the full thing, and then I would try to split it into shapes. And then I would do it including blue notes, and I would write those with the letter B. Then I would do a G major scale, I would do a G minor pentatonic. And then I had a mountain scale that I was kind of working on, which is kind of a Dorian, Mixolydian kind of a sound. And that was, you know, inspired by all the Tony Rice stuff where I heard those flat thirds and those dominant sevenths, and I was trying to sort of figure out how that worked. Then over here, I would include licks and other notes from that same key or position. So I'm thinking all about the G shape here, thinking all about the C shape now. So these are all those same scale ideas for C with a bunch of chord diagrams and licks and everything else for the C shape. And then moving on, I've taken other things. For instance, these are the pentatonic shapes for A, E, and D in the sort of first position that you have available and how they have to be altered using open strings. These are important. Learn them. These are my notes on how the modes work and how they're constructed. So then I took, for instance, here's G, and I would write G, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Locrian. Circle of fifths notes, caged chords, major to minor conversion chart. I don't know what I was thinking there. Here were notes on different chord shapes, movable chord shapes, it looks like. some caged notes on the cage system. These notes on backstepping in different keys. You can just see how thorough I tried to be with all of these. There's pages and pages of these, and then exercises from other websites. Right, this is like a big licks section, and a lot of these are from the Bluegrass Hot Licks book. If you were on my website, you probably read my blog post about this book. I think it's wonderful. Here's the cover of it right here. And I've added my own markers of where the different chapters are so I can find the sections that I want. And I'll still use this from time to time. Along with this, I used to have almost some travel versions of the Bluegrass Bible. And let's see if I can find one of those. You know, little notebooks like these are really common for me to just fill up with stuff. You know, how to write arrangements for tunes. I'm sure this seems so mad scientist-y. It really should. Look, scale diagrams and stuff like that. Who knows what all of that means or what it was from. Just chords and chords and chords. Look, I was making like my own system with like shapes and highlighting different scale degrees. Who knows what that means? So this part's my favorite because a lot of guitar players always want to know about practice routines and should I do this exercise or should I do that exercise? You know, is this good or is this bad? Is this good for bluegrass? Is this bad? What's the fastest way to learn how to do X? But every day when I would practice, I would just try to play everything in here. Cover to cover. Did I skip things every once in a while? Yeah. I mean, would I stop and use my practice time to rewrite something that I figured out was incorrect in there? Yeah, of course. But I would do my best to get through this whole thing. It's not just about covering a wide range of things. Most of the notes in here are my own, like you just saw. These are handwritten. They're figured out by ear or mind power or whatever else I had going on. And transcribed in all their glory here. And sure, some of the things in here are from other sources. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. But when I would take notes, I did it the old-fashioned way. You know, when I came up with something that I knew I could look up online or figure out myself, I tried to figure it out myself. As a musician, you want to seek new information and new knowledge, greater understanding, but don't you want to seek greater retention, right? You really want to absorb that knowledge and understand it inside and out. So watching a couple YouTube videos and then forgetting everything probably isn't the best way to learn, right? And so every day when I played through this book, I was actively looking for my own mistakes and looking for ways to make things clearer and cleaner. And I think that's how I really learned how to actively practice. Practicing with your mind empty, just sort of laying on the couch, mindlessly doing something, will get you less results than being actively engaged and thinking about something, you know, working on that technical knowledge and understanding. You think like, hey, I want to learn this song. That's a weird note right there. It happens to be over this chord. Why does that work? What does that note sound like over other chords? Does it work here? This is, of course, the answer that no one actually wants to hear. You know, the technicality of how, what, and when you're practicing doesn't really matter if you're not taking an active role in your own education. And I dare you today, you know, take everything you know about the guitar and try to write it down. If you're a beginner, you can start simple. Can you draw chord diagrams of every single cowboy chord that you know? Or if you're more intermediate, let's say, can you draw out all 5 pentatonic shapes for all 12 keys? Or if you're more advanced, could you write like a 16-bar etude for all of the different modes? I guarantee you that you'll see more growth from those, you know, just couple of suggestions and filling up one of these for yourself than whatever you're doing right now, which is probably trying to play Church Street Blues for the 200th time, getting frustrated, putting down your guitar, and then watching Bonanza on Amazon Prime Video. Right, so like I said before, what could you put in your Bluegrass Bible? Well, anything goes. What do you know? Your major scales, your minor scales, major pentatonic scales, minor pentatonic scales, your modes, your blues scales, your harmonic minor, melodic minor. What else you got? Throw it out there. Make a new scale. Or arrangements of tunes, like any tabs you can get your hands on. Like, for instance, all of the tabs that are at lessonswithmarcel.com on the tab store. So many of them are free. Go check them out today. Licks. You can cut up a whole lick book like I did. And you can 3-hole punch it, cut off the spine. Hell, you know, go hand transcribe some stuff. I posted so many free bluegrass licks on the Jazz and Grass Instagram account. Why don't you go look at those, find ones that you like, write them down by hand on a piece of paper, and then you have your own practice routine to do. Yeah, that's some work for you to do. That's some actual work that will make your guitar playing better. And then you should probably do a whole music theory section. Think about how well you can answer questions like, how is a chord made? How are scales created? How do melodies interact with chords? Etc. You know, how well can you answer those questions? Literally take yourself to school, drop yourself off, and say, I'll be back in a couple of hours. I'm not positive that last one made sense. I was gonna throw this like I normally do with books and things, but maybe I will just set it down gently over here. All right, if you like taking a lesson from the biggest, baddest Billy Goat in the barnyard, of course, there's a couple things you can do. Please like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe to this channel if you like it. We're really close to hitting 5,000 subscribers, which would just be the coolest thing ever. You can also check out the Instagram account, Jazz and Grass. That's where we have daily guitar lick that's either jazz or bluegrass every single day of the week. It's awesome. I have a podcast that I do with that guy too. His name is Lyman. He's awesome. He just wrote a blog post for my website, lessonswithmarcel.com, where you can check out the tab store. You can get a bunch of free tabs or buy some tabs if you want to. I don't know, just saying. You can also sign up for Skype lessons. Definitely do that. Skype lessons make you smart. What else can you do? Oh, you can also get your merch on there, which you should do. If you haven't already, you should check out my Facebook page. I post a lot of funny like bluegrass memes, and I try to share all of the content that I create there. So there's like a hub where you can see all of it. I think that's it. I think I did a good job. I think that's all the things I want to say. Sushi Cat, do you have anything you want to say? That couldn't have been better. I'll see you next time. By that crossing sign. That old beggar boy and the bootlegger's wife.